I may not be a blonde country singer, but I will tell you that I learn a ton from Dolly Parton and the way she moves through the world every time I come across her, whether it's through her music, her interviews, who she is. And Carrie Underwood shares that with me. I was listening to a interview with Carrie Underwood that was a tribute to Dolly Parton. And, you know, everybody has their Dolly-isms that they love. It takes a lot of money to look this cheap was one of her most famous lines. But Carrie was talking about something that I had never heard before. And she said, you know, and Carrie Underwood is a blonde country singer also. And Dolly Parton said that I don't get offended from dumb blonde jokes. She's because I'm not dumb and I'm definitely not blonde. So let me repeat that. I don't get offended by dumb blonde jokes. You know, it takes a lot of money to look this cheap. One of the Dolly-isms that we all know and love from the incredibly talented, brilliant, open-hearted, loving, just incredible Dolly Parton. Who doesn't love Dolly Parton? And if you don't love Dolly Parton, you can stop listening to this podcast right now because I've been in love with Dolly for decades and decades. I was listening to a conversation with Carrie Underwood, and she was talking about her love for Dolly Parton. And you know, we all know it takes a lot of money to look this cheap, and all the Dolly-isms that are really kind of witty and fun in the way she navigated through world. And especially if you watch interviews from her in the late 60s and the early 70s, and some of the salacious comments that people like Johnny Carson would say to her, and how she just laughed them off. So Carrie was talking about her favorite quote from Dolly Parton, and that is, I don't get offended by dumb blonde jokes because I'm not dumb and I am definitely not blonde. Let me repeat that. I don't get offended by dumb blonde jokes. I don't get offended by dumb blonde jokes because I'm not dumb and I'm definitely not blonde. And there was a lot in there that I could take. It was funny. It was very, very funny. But now let's take it a little step further and think about what we can learn. Because I learn from Dolly all the time, just how she moves through the world, how open-hearted she is, and how she lets things kind of roll off her. But when we get offended, when I get offended, when someone says something to me and I'm offended, if I'm doing my own work, what I know is if they're able to offend me, it means that I think there's some truth to that, or that there could be some truth to that. So if someone calls me a short, a short little weak guy, I might get offended because I'm short. I'm afraid of being weak. I don't want to be seen as weak. I want to be seen as tough. I'm a dad. I want to be seen as tough. So I might get offended at that. But if someone said, you know, you're a banana or you're a chair, I just kind of laugh it off because I'm not a banana or a chair. It doesn't land in any way. So when I notice I'm offended, the first thing I do is I check to see what the hell's going on with me that actually got through to me. And when Dolly says she's not offended by the dumb blonde jokes, because we know the woman's not dumb, and now we know she's not blonde. So why would she be offended? Because it just doesn't register. They're talking about somebody else. For me, that's a really funny and good illustration of how we can move through the world. So next time you're offended, if you're on social media and something offends you, do your own work on it. Spend some time thinking about, why does that offend me? Now, like, there could be racism, and there could be anti-Semitism, or there could be something about masks or not masks or politics or something that pisses you off because it touched a nerve. But then if you actually do the work, and I've been doing this a lot with politics and all this stuff these days, because there's so many people in my life that have vehemently different views than me, is why am I threatened by what they have to say? Why am I irked? If I am disturbed, it's all mine. So again, to recap, you're probably, if you're not blonde and you're not dumb, you're not going to get offended by dumb blonde jokes. If you're not short, you're not going to be offended by being called short. So what are you offended about? What's sticking in your craw? Get a pen and piece of paper out and figure out why whatever somebody said offended you or impacted you in some way. And then what you'll notice is that there's some little fear, there's some little belief, there's something that you need to kind of uncover and work on for yourself. To be unfuckwithable is to know who you are, know your foibles. Now, if people call me short, I know I'm short and I've accepted that I'm short. So I'm okay with being short. So more I can do, the more I can uncover those things that bother me and be okay and be open and be vulnerable about it, the less I'm going to be offended. So go listen to some Dolly, go get you some Antifragility, and enjoy your rest of your day.